It all started with this simple but unique cactus sculpture that doesn't seem to belong here, surrounded by a brutalist concrete structure. At the junction between two concrete buildings, this witty sculpture named Mandacaru Flower is designed as a protective element so that people don't fall through the gap. Mandacaru is a cactus native to the semi-arid regions in central and eastern Brazil. It's known for its resilience, needing minimal water but still growing tall up to 30 feet. It has white night-blooming flowers which transform into edible fruit with red skin. This original drawing by the project architect shows her idea of having an inscription next to the sculpture that says, "Respect the Mandacaru, symbol of the people." This is such a powerful message when we think about the situation during the time this building was constructed. The Pompeia Factory Leisure Center project started in 1977 and was completed in 1986. It was commissioned by Social Service of Commerce, a non-profit organization focused on accessible culture and sports programs, which today operates more than 500 centers. This project lived through and observed the end of the 20-year military dictatorship that ended in 1985. This was one of the first public buildings designed for communities after the dark time. Using this cactus was not a superficial reference to contextualize the building, but rather a symbol of people who bloomed out of harsh political conditions and were finally about to see the fruit of freedom. The sculpture is also used on tour guide badges as a visual identity that represents one of the key ideas behind the architecture. Marcelo Ferraz, one of the interns who worked with the architect, recalls, in 1982, it was unclassifiable according to the characteristics of the existing architecture. It was indeed a bomb, a shock. The architect describes this project as Citadel of Freedom. The building looks like a military fortress or even a bunker. The twist is that these massive blocks are designed to function as a community sports center. The bigger volume hosts a swimming pool on the ground floor and a series of sports courts stacked on top. The smaller one hosts service functions including a visitor center, locker room, bathroom, stairs, and elevators. These massive concrete blocks were cast on site, probably the most solid way to build something like this rather than assembling different parts manufactured and transported from different places. The 8 concrete bridges connecting the 2 blocks spanning up to 25 meters are also cast on site to maintain a solid and robust look, an intentional decision rather than a stylistic choice. The Citadel was built to protect, shelter, and create an independent place where self-expressions and social gatherings are encouraged. There are many heartwarming details referencing nature that show how the architect really designed the spaces with users in mind. One of my favorite examples is the vibrant color sports court inspired by Four Seasons. She explained that way people who go to play basketball, for example, won't say they will be at court 1, they'll say they'll be in spring. Prior to the opening of the sports building, the first phase of this project completed in 1982 was the renovation of the decommissioned existing barrel manufacturing factory. The original concrete structure was carefully revealed and a few things were added, such as the fire pit and the stream, as an homage to the São Francisco River in the northeastern region of Brazil. This is the region where the architect studied and cared deeply while serving as the director of Museum of Modern Art of Bahia in early 1960s. According to the architect, São Paulo became more cosmopolitan due to the migration from the northeastern region, and it has to adopt cultures from other parts of the country. Her attention to local culture and her ingenuity in introducing elements that could resonate with people are so evident in this architecture, which is really difficult to do without being superficial decoration. However, the most surprising part is that this architect neither born nor trained in Brazil. The architect Lina Bo Bardi was born in Rome, Italy in 1914. She studied architecture in Rome, and in 1939, she moved to Milan right after she graduated to practice. She immediately collaborated with mainstream architects of the time, such as Gio Ponti, working on writings and analytical drawings for magazines. During World War II, Lina recalled that the city was no longer being built, but destroyed every day. There were not many things to do as an architect other than writings and painting. In 1946, not long after her office got bombed and destroyed completely, Lina and her husband, Pietro Maria Bardi, moved to São Paulo with an invitation to direct the construction of São Paulo Museum of Art, both as an institution and as well as building. To Lina, who studied in Rome, surrounded by ancient ruins, and observed destruction in Milan, Brazil was the land of opportunity to explore. She harshly criticized postmodernism in the 1980s, calling it a spiritual recycling of the past. Her effort to learn and really create something new that serves people, blending rational design logics with local cultures, was evident from the very beginning of her new chapter in Brazil. In 1950, with her husband, Lina started the magazine Habitat, featuring art and nature of Brazil. She traveled throughout the country, studying indigenous and vernacular expressions and documented them through the magazines and exhibitions. In 1958, she became the director of the Museum of Modern Art of Bahia. During her time in Bahia, Lina became closely acquainted with the resourceful ways people in Brazil's northeastern region shaped everyday objects and spaces. She curated everyday objects, bringing attention to traditional handicraft cultures representing the authentic lives of people. In 1951, Lina became a Brazilian citizen and never returned to Europe. This context explains the development of our idea of poor architecture, pursuing direct and raw solutions. That is not in the sense of poverty, but rather of handicraft expressed through simple and humble means with dignity. During the construction of the Pompeia Leisure Center, she moved her office to the construction site to work directly with workers collaboratively. Lina often worked with unskilled workers who had mainly migrated from northeastern region to São Paulo. She encouraged them to be creative in an effort to make something that resonated with both people who make it and use it. And I think the Mandacaru sculpture is the best example of this idea of co-authorship. Many people compare this project with the Pompidou Center in Paris, which was designed and built almost around the same time. Of course, the motif and the origin of these two projects are very different. However, many would agree that Lina's project grew out of far more complicated political and economical context. This comparison really shows how different societies can generate totally different architecture and aesthetics. When I visited the Pompeia factory during the pandemic, what struck me most was how alive the place still felt. It's only relatively recent that Lina Bo Bardi's work gained broader and critical international recognition, especially from 2010s. Before that, the exhibitions such as Brazil Project at MoMA PS1 in 1988 introduced Pompeia projects alongside with other avant-garde Brazilian art after the coup. In 1999, during the 9th São Paulo Architecture Biennale, an exhibition titled Citadel of Freedom focused on Lina Bo Bardi's work. One of the major publications grew out of that exhibition was published in 2016 by the Client Social Service of Commerce in collaboration with the Lina Bo Bardi's Institute, which is this book that I bought when I visited in 2022. I'll be honest, I didn't even open this book for almost 3 years, but spending time with it now helped me better understand the serious historical and political context behind the wit and playfulness that I really admire in this project. Even during the pandemic, the place was clearly well used by the community. If you ever visit São Paulo, this is the place where you can truly be surrounded by happy local people. If you enjoyed this video, please also check out my Brazil travel vlog. And thank you so much for watching.